Welcome back to the Texas Truck Channel. I'm Craig.
And I'm Brian.
And we're at Toyota Jamboree year 18 in Gilmer, Texas. Gilmer, Texas at Barnwell Mountain recreational area. This place is awesome. And Brian, we got some cool cars behind us. We got a GX550, which been a hit at, we feel like celebrities here with that thing.
Yeah.
And then we got our taco, our long-term taco, Brian. But you've got some plans for us. What are we gonna do?
All right, so look, we've done some stuff, as you already know if you've watched the show, to the taco. But we've not done any real off-roading outside of our hill test. We know it dominates there, but we've got trails everywhere here. So we're gonna try it in its own element. We've done a little wheeling so far, but we're gonna do more on film today. And then obviously we have the GX550 on loan at the moment this week, so we're not gonna dodge that in an off-road scenario. We're gonna do that. And like Craig said, this is getting more attention than Kim Kardashian's rear end. It's ridiculous. People are stopping us. We're having to make more cuts in our filming. It's hysterical. But hey man, that's Jambo, baby. That's what everyone keeps telling us. First thing I wanna do, Craig, is before we go to the actual trail, is Moguls. Moguls are a lot of fun because it shows a vehicle flexing out. And both of these are TNGAF platform, which means independent front. It's the live axle in the rear.
Right.
So we're gonna see them tuck and do their thing and maybe lift tires, we're not sure. So we're gonna slow roll over this and see what happens, starting with the taco.
Prediction, do you think either one will lift a wheel here?
I think the taco might, I think the GX will not.
Okay, let's find out. Okay, so we're gonna do the taco first on these little Moguls, Brian. Any modes, or are you just gonna go at it? What's the plan of attack here?
I'm just gonna go for it, two-wheel drive. I don't think we need anything else.
Okay.
But I do want to point out, look at the GX.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
It's getting a lot of attention, which it means it's gonna be a hit.
Yep.
Can you imagine with the Land Cruiser right here? We'd really be in trouble.
They are on property. Okay, let's try it out. So my biggest thing is I'm gonna see if a wheel lifts as I'm going over this. So.
Okay, and you think it will or won't?
I think it might.
I think it might too. Okay,
yeah.
Let's see. Okay, now we're kind of crossing it up, see what happens. We can see that back passenger tire is really light, but it's on. It's spinning. This tire is touching, but it's kind of fully flexed out. Okay, now we got it up in the air like we thought would happen. And this is because, let's show this real quick. This is because the IFS, and we don't have the optional disconnecting front sway bar, which might help some, but really not all the way, because we only get so much droop back here.
Right.
This is the best we're gonna get with the stock setup.
So I've gone to 4 high, and this is not like our hill test, we're not doing something like that. It still might not make it without traction control engaged, but let's just see what happens with 4 high.
And you also haven't used the rear locker yet.
No, we've been one-wheel drive this whole time.
Right,
so.
okay, all right. 4 high, the front tire is helping. Definitely makes a difference.
So the back's in the air.
That back one in the air. Now we're touching.
Okay,
pretty good test.
So we didn't rub the belly, but we did lift a tire.
Right.
Let's see what the GX does.
Predictions, we've probably the same deal. We'll probably lift it. I think it's got a little more droop though, so it may not lift it as high.
Well, for the audience that we haven't explained yet, this is the Overtrail edition, and it has an overload spring in the rear, so it's taller. So it may actually have more travel because of that. Let's see what it does.
We also do get the golden ratio, so a little bit shorter wheelbase, so that'll help some.
112.9 or 112.2.
Something like that. We'll put it,
yeah.
And then also mode-wise, I'm just keeping it normal.
All right, so we've got a lot of lift in this rear corner back here, but not off the ground. Neither was the Tacoma. And because it's independent front suspension, the front just kind of does what it does. All right, now we're tucking in the back. Let's see what we got over here, because this is where the Tacoma started to lift. All right, come on up. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, you're in all-wheel drive. You're not locked. You're not in 4 low. Can you do the locker in 4 high?
I'm gonna do center lock first, so I can actually get, let's just try that.
Okay, center lock. So now it's gonna lock you at 50-50 front and rear instead of auto, which means that front tire is probably gonna get more propulsion. All right, so that's not successful without momentum. So what you got next?
Rear locker.
Got to be in 4 low.
Got to be in 4 low for rear locker.
Which is silly, Toyota. I wish you didn't do that, but that's okay.
But also, before we do that, let's do multi-terrain select.
Oh, you're gonna try and crawl it?
And let's do dirt.
Let it figure it out on its own.
See if it can figure it out.
Okay. So he's gonna apply partial throttle and keep his foot consistent and see if traction management can apply brake force distribution to the wheels that are spinning. And it's definitely keeping wheel speed lower, but I don't see it getting it where it needs to go yet. Well, it's trying. Okay, well this back tire is clear off the ground, so I think it's struggling with that. So maybe crawl control?
I just did that.
Oh, that was crawl control.
That's crawl control in 4 high.
Okay, I think it's locker time. And this is the beauty of a locker, is it locks it left and right 50-50, which means the back two tires will be 1-to-1.
And we're good.
And watch this thing walk off this. This is the beauty of a locker. There you go. So now that tire in the air is spinning exactly the same as the tire on the ground, on the rear axle, and it just walks through. Okay, as expected, that worked. I think it's time we throw some trail riding in here and some organic obstacles. Rear lockers are awesome.
Yeah.
But also the Tacoma didn't need a locker to do that. So, interesting. Weight's a thing.
You also bumped it.
I did bump.
That's
true. That's true.
So,
we did bump. That's actually, that's what happened.
We could have done that here. It would have been fun.
All right, to the trail. All right, Craig, we are on the trail and we've got some twisty stuff coming up with some dips. Nothing too crazy. This is a press car. We're going to be modest with it, but we're going to run them both back to back and see just how they handle differently. Are you ready for it?
Oh, I'm ready, and this thing's definitely ready.
Mode-wise, what are you thinking?
I am in multi-terrain select. You can choose auto, dirt, sand, mud, deep snow. I'm just going to stick with auto.
Okay.
Let it figure it out on its own, and that's really it. That's all I'm going to do.
If we have any hiccups, we'll do something else. I don't think we will. A little overview for the viewers. This is the Overtrail edition, which means it is the perfect packaging for this. It has overload springs in the rear. If you have a tent and all that stuff, it handles the weight, and it has a rear locker, which is the biggest deal. So we're going to roll it up low on here and high on this side. We're going to see how it twists over. So we're going to watch this passenger side because it's going to dip. He's staying to the driver's side more because he's trying to avoid the roots on that side. Okay, tire's still on the ground.
Right, I want to show the people we have some off-road gauges or off-road information in here.
Yeah.
And it's pretty, it's something. It shows you brake and accelerator, which is pretty cool, and what mode you're in four-wheel drive-wise. But what's really interesting over here is you get a dial that says you're off camber and all that, and it just says 30 degrees to whatever. And so you're just going to have to do a little math and guess where you're at, but there's that. At least
also,
there's something.
You know why you're hitting the brake, I guess? I don't know. Is that helpful off-road?
Sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, no big deal so far, but here's what I'm interested in is right up here. Navigate this, we'll probably straddle it, but this is actually about, from that angle to there is about a 1.5 foot difference. He's gonna straddle this, which is the best line, maybe not the most fun line. And you can see we've got a metal skid plate down here. Maybe you can't see it, but that's pretty solid.
One more thing that's pretty cool and handy is, so you got this off-road page, but then I'm coming up on this obstacle. Now you're going to talk me through it, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But if I was leading and I didn't have someone to kind of talk me through, what's really cool is I can hit this camera button right here, and now all of a sudden I can see the obstacle pretty good, and I got a front cam, and that's very nice. So, pretty handy.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So what it does is it takes a photo as you're driving, and it overlays the image as you cover over, stitches it in. And the Tacoma, that is optional, but the Tacoma does not have that. All right, so this side's what I'm worried about. He's got to straddle this line right here. He's going to use this tool to do it. But the biggest issue is this massive hole, which I'll stand in real quick for reference. I'm going to get out of the way though. So he's riding that edge. That's a perfect line. I'm going to stay out of the way because if he slides in that, we're in trouble. And we're with the back tire sliding off as he passes. Ooh. Oh, he's far away from it. He's good. Yeah, we got enough clearance. I just want to show this, how tall the rear end is compared to the front for the overload of extra payload. But man, it has no problem getting over this stuff. Pretty cool. All right, here comes the Tacoma. We've got our buddy Sam's driving this one for us. And we've got a queue behind us, so we're going to keep moving. Also, Carl's here helping with B-roll. All right, he's avoiding that tree root really well, but you can see that it's dipping in just like the Land Cruiser. Yeah, good angles. Independent rear suspension or front suspension keeps the tires planted really well, and live axle allows it to articulate great. So keep in mind, this is the same platform as the GX in terms of architecture, but it has the 4-cylinder non-hybrid, whereas the GX has a twin-turbo V6. All right, Sam, this is our film assistant and buddy Sam. He's gonna be wheeling this one because we have a queue of people behind us and I don't want to hold them up. So you're gonna do just what Craig did, just don't fall in the hole.
I'll try.
Got it. Okay, let's go. So again, we've got the pits right here. I've actually asked him to drive in a little bit because I want to see it flex out. Something else to point out is this is a direct injection 4-cylinder and it sounds like a diesel. All right, so putting the sidewall to use here. There you go, he's right out of it. Yeah, no big deal. Massive trench, which I know YouTube and GoPros flattening out, but that is really deep right there. That's probably 4 feet down. Yeah, look at the rear end flex on that thing. So we're in 2-wheel drive currently as well. There you go, ride that wall. Oh, we're on the edge, we're on the edge. All right, straighten out. Okay, but hold on, it's in two-wheel drive. So give it a pinch of throttle real quick. Show the people. Oh, you're crawling, okay. That tire is spinning because it's barely on the ground. Pop it in 4 high real quick. So now four-wheel drive, he's got a little slide, and that's okay. These tires are not the most sure-footed. They're not proper all-terrains. They're kind of a light all-terrain. And we've learned on this trip, we might be tweaking that. All right, back tire is trying to slide a little bit. He's okay. All right, looking good. A little slick today, a little dip, okay. All right, Sam, not bad. Let's take it out, we'll clear the trail. All right, so we're letting Sam run this up the hill because we don't want to go through the mud. He's got it in four-wheel drive and probably the diff lock at this point because it was slipping. You can go, oh boy, this is uncomfortable for me. Oh boy. Okay, well, no slipping at all, and that's the beauty of 4 auto. You never have to stop and change it. So that's the advantage of it. So these canyons are really cool because they're like kind of notched out and they get deep from years of off-roading out here at Barnwell. We're a big fan of this park. If you're in the area, check it out. Watch out for trees. All right, Craig, I think this is gonna be our last obstacle.
Yeah, I think so. And we've driven a lot.
We have. We've done a bunch. We did a bunch last night. We did night wheeling, which these were awesome. Bump those real quick. Yeah. Zeus light and then the anti-zombie light that keeps the zombies away. Works great. Didn't see a single zombie.
And our correspondents Sam and Carl have done a really good job and a lot of good filming for us. They decided it's time for us to film, so that's what we're gonna do.
That's fair. So what we're gonna do is a hill climb coming out, and it's really gonna show modes on these things. Sam's gonna take the Taco. Carl will take the Lexus. We're going to start in 4 high for sure, because we just know that the rear traction is going to be a problem, and we can't do a locker on its own to demonstrate that.
One of the neat things, it's kind of hard to tell on camera here, but we're getting a lot of blue on the tire because these tires are new, and when rubber is new and gets mud exposed to it, it pulls out this natural color in it. Pretty interesting.
All right, right side. There you go, perfect. Oh, she sidestepped a lot.
Yeah.
We're getting slick. A little more bump. There we go. Got it.
All right, Brian, we're now going to move on to the Lexus. It's actually a pretty gnarly deal. You kind of talked the Taco through it. We're going to talk the GX through it.
Yeah.
One of the issues we have with the GX, Brian, is this front nose
is
a little lower
than the Tacoma.
Now, the good news is, once we get past that, we're kind of good on everything.
And the rear is a lot higher in this.
Right.
So it has no problem getting on the tail end.
But we've got a lot of obstacles with a lot of nose issues. We'll see. We've got to be careful.
This is technical, and we needed 4 low with a locker in the Taco. We'll see what happens here.
We're going to go ahead and go to 4 low now.
Okay.
And just get past that issue and solve it.
And then do you want to do center and rear lock just to keep it safe?
I think so, because we're not turning here, so we're not twisting up or binding any drive line.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, we're just going straight. We're going to go use all our tools.
There's our modes, and then we're just going to watch like a hawk.
Okay, I'm going to try to talk them up here. Okay, now slow. As you approach this obstacle, straight. Good. All right, you're good. You're centered good. To the passenger a little bit. Keep coming. Slow. Just want to show the people, look how close we are. But we've got just enough clearance. We do have some protection under there because this is the Overtrail, but we're trying to be really careful. So slowly just crawl up that. Good. Keep coming. This is where the Taco had a little trouble. Come on. Got it. Slow. Keep going slow. Okay, driver. You're good, come on. Walking it a little bit in the back stop. Come on, straight. Very good. Kind of goes to show that lockers and all the tools do come into play sometimes because it's kind of wet, it's kind of muddy.
Yep.
And we needed everything right there. Both vehicles struggled a little bit because of grip.
Yep.
But the locker got us through.
Yeah, I want to point something else out too. I want to talk about differences between the two. This tire is arguably a more aggressive all-terrain.
Very good point.
It also sidestepped, just like the BFG did. So not as helpful as I thought it would be in that regard. Also, weight came into play. This moved more on that side slope than the Tacoma did because of that. So that's interesting. Other takeaways, shock travel in the Tacoma is not there.
Not right now.
Not right now. And so what we've learned about this is we need probably bigger tires we would like for what we're doing, and a more aggressive shock to not bottom out and hit the bump stops. Another thing about this, the downside, this nose is lower for sure.
That is the downside, yeah.
And it's just the design of it, and a huge benefit is the rear is in the air and has no problem at all.
The good news is they all kind of have just enough protection that we need, and so we were able to get past it without too much worry.
Yeah.
We just had to be careful, and it was fun. I'd say they both passed.
Look,
So,
very highly capable vehicles. These are stock, and we're playing with all the crazy guys out here at Jambo. Awesome. Good job, Toyota. TNGAF does work.
it's a pretty capable platform. With that, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave some comments below and let us know if we're crazy and what TNGAF platform you prefer.